Happy Monday, Houston. It's Monday of the 15th week in Ordinary Time. Man, that gospel yesterday was probably one of the easiest to preach on. You know how pastors don't like to preach on the Trinity? Well, the seed falling on a different soil, that's really it. But Jesus explains it there in the gospel. Anyway, you're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, where we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston. Some shows, they try to make it as timeless as possible so you can replay them. I have such a hard time trying to find replays of this show because every time we talk, it's all about what's happening this week, what's happening yesterday, what day is it today, how was the weather? And so if I were to replay this show, 6 months from now in December, it would sound absolutely insane. So you have come to the right place. I am glad that you are listening live. Even if you're listening on the podcast, later on, that's okay. We still are catching up on everything Catholic in Houston, and this is a great way for you to stay connected. You got a lot of great content for you today. My name is Tim Mott. I'm the general manager of AM 1430 KSHJ, part of the Guadalupe Radio Network. We have 45 radio stations across a whole bunch of different markets. A lot of them in Texas, also Alabama, Florida, D.C., which covers Maryland and Virginia. Got some in Kansas too, and I think we just acquired one in North Carolina. That's really cool. But each of these big markets, we have a local show there. And so here in Houston, this is the local show. You are the only one listening to this. This is the only station where we talk about what's Catholic in Houston. So coming up later, we've got Deacon Ken and Marilyn Henry, who are with the Catholic Grandparents Association at Prince of Peace. That is going to be an awesome conversation. There's a prayer breakfast coming up this Thursday. We'll chat about that. Our executive director for KSHJ, Wyatt, is reporting from Cafe Catholica. Father David Michael Moses. Oh, come on. You know Father David Michael Moses. He's going to be on the show too. And Loving Choice, of course, our wonderful sponsor, Loving Choice. We'll check in with them about what's going on in the pro-life world up in spring. But running the show today, we have Taylor Van Nest, our producer extraordinaire. Taylor, I am so proud of you. I have seen you blossom since you joined us not that long ago. You started off one show on the weekends, and now you're doing Catholic Drive Time every morning and also the Catholic Lunch Break every week. Man, you have your radio skills have increased exponentially in such a short time.
Well, I have a great trainer, and you.
No. It's the Catholic Drive Time. I'm telling you, I have nothing to do. There is no way I'm getting up that early. You and Adrian and Tito do a great job on Catholic Drive Time. Good job, man. And thank you for staying late here to help us with Catholic Lunch Break too.
No problem. The more producing, the better.
Exactly.
I love it.
That's the fun part of the job, really. And also Carol running our video, you're everything now. Radio ambassador, super producer, super volunteer, video switcher. You do everything, Carol. How are you today?
Thank you, Tim. I'm doing just great. And yourself?
It was a hot weekend.
Tim, we spoke about it earlier.
I got lucky, though.
Goodness.
I got lucky. I went to church early in the evening. We went early for confession at St. Teresa's in Sugar Land. And because I was there early, I managed to get a spot with shade.
Oh, great.
A parking spot with
wonderful.
shade. You can't. Oh, my God. God was smiling on my family yesterday.
Was it sunny when you walked out of church, or was there still?
It was still shady.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good spot. That was a good spot. Wow. Sometimes when you go early,
you were lucky. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm going to hear which church you went to because you're a pilgrimage, but we're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Yes, sure.
Also joining us today, Volunteer Corey Smith. You're back for your second week here.
It is great to be back. I mean, the first time, it was a lot of fun, and I hope it continues to be a lot more fun.
Yeah, we didn't drive you away. We didn't scare you off with all our radio craziness. I mean, this is an insane time to be at KSHJ because of all the renovations that are happening right now. You didn't see this on Saturday, Corey, but I've got a new carpet story to tell you. I'll tell you that after the prayer. You came from Conroe this morning, right?
Yes, I live in Conroe, Texas.
So you live in Conroe, I live in Sugar Land. I mean, we got people all over the place.
Heights.
Yeah, Carol over the Heights, right? Yeah. Anyway, so listener, wherever you are joining us from, we are so glad that you are part of the GRN family. And we're going to open with prayer like we always do. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thine intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Okay, what should we do first? Should I tell you my carpet story, or should I tell you, or should we talk about Carol's church? Yeah.
Let's do the carpet
Let's do
story
it. Okay,
first.
okay.
Yes.
No, this
Yeah.
I don't
That
mind
sounds
embarrassing
very
myself.
Interesting,
Yeah, no,
Tim.
it's not. It's actually, well, it is interesting, but
Okay,
it's
well.
I don't mind being embarrassed.
Okay.
So Wyatt and I, we were actually like, we got this instruction from the building manager. She said the carpet people are going to come in and this weekend and change everything. So take everything off the top of your desks.
Okay.
And I was like, why? Why would I take everything off the top of my desk? Now I know, listener, you already get this. You've done this before, but I'm a little slow sometimes. I don't put two and two together. So I'm like, how are they going to install the carpet if we don't move our desks out of the office? Like, are they
That's
going
a
to
good
lift the
question.
desk up and roll it under and set it down?
I'm with
That's
you,
just-
Tim.
Yeah, again. So this is me. This is me being slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in on Saturday morning for the Spirit World. I'll get there here before Taylor, because Taylor and I work on that together. And you came too, Carol. So I come here and, oh, there's no carpet on the floor. And when you look into the studio, oh, every single piece of furniture in the entire suite was in the studio. Piled around.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was piled
That's
all
right. Oh,
around this
yes.
console, all around the
It was
microphones, all around the
cluttered. It
computer.
was
And I
cluttered.
said to myself,
Yes,
oh,
yes.
that's how they do it.
Oh my goodness. Well, you live and you learn something every day. Okay.
Yeah, exactly,
So-
exactly. So we had to squeeze past all of our desks, which were up on their ends, to get to the computer so that we could
was like an
produce the
obstacle
Spirit
course,
World. It was an
walking
obstacle
around,
course. Yeah,
if-
just a little tiny, little claustrophobic there. But the new carpet looks great.
It does.
Shout
It
out
does,
to
yes.
whoever it was working on that. Man, it looks really awesome. New tile in the break room and everything. Now, I mean, you still hear the reverb in this room. We have not yet gotten our studio sound treated. We're going to get these acoustical panels on the wall. That's going to be it. This is a work in process, all brought to you by you listeners, because of your support. KSHJ and the Guadalupe Radio Network are continuing to thrive. Now, since this is the Catholic Lunch Break and we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston, Carol, I know that you are on your pilgrimage to visit every single church in the Archdiocese. Where did you go yesterday?
Well, this weekend I went to Clute, Texas. Tim, have you been to Clute?
I've never been to Clute. I think I drove through there to get to Surfside Beach, but
Okay.
that's like it's like just past Lake Jackson.
Lake Jackson.
I don't know if
and-
our signal doesn't even reach that far.
Well, I was getting it up to the time I passed Angleton, Lake Jackson, and it started. You could listen to it, but it was in and
wow,
out,
okay.
in and out.
You must have a
okay?
good radio.
In and out with poor reception, but you could still hear it. If you really wanted to hear it, and I was listening hard, and I kept turning up the audio, and you could still hear it. Bottom line, yes, you can still hear it. But anyway, it's about an hour away from Houston off 288 South. And I went to St. Jerome Catholic Church at noon, and it was for their Spanish Mass. And Mass was great. The pastor there is Father Jorge Cabrera, and I want to give a shout out to him and commend him. He was very engaging with the parishioners during the homily
good.
of the Mass. Yes, Tim. He asked questions about the gospel and the symbolism as it relates to us, the meaning behind things there. And he had parishioners on their toes. Nobody was asleep there. And I'm just glad I sat in the back.
oh, you didn't want to get called on.
Yes. While I was listening, no, my Spanish isn't quite up to par, so I was hoping he wouldn't ask me any questions I didn't want to have to answer in Spanish. But
Well,
anyway,
I told you that gospel yesterday. That's an
it was
easy
incredible.
one to preach on.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was incredible. Yes.
You're not alone. You're not alone on that, Carol, because my Spanish ain't that good either, and I'm half Hispanic.
Well, you see, okay, and I'm full Hispanic, so okay, good. Okay, I feel better now. But anyway, the church is gorgeous, and there are a lot of unique features there, Tim, the Catholic art and the sanctuary. But there were a couple of things that did stand out to me, and one was when you first walk into the church, the beautiful stained glass above the entrance of the door there. Just incredible, and it's huge. And then the sanctuary, I mean, they have the cross, of course, the image there, and then you have the resurrected Christ above the cross.
Oh,
so
neat.
yeah, so you don't have
That's
the
a good
crucified.
image. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes. Because when you walk into a church and the first thing you see is the crucified Christ. Of course, it's beautiful. We love that. He died for us. Christ died for us. But then when you see that, and then you see the resurrected Christ, I mean, it speaks to me, But anyway, and there's another one, my last item, the on the outside of the church, they have the Stations of the Cross on the side of the church there. And it's cute because they look like little bird houses. But then in the inside of it, you have the different
Oh,
Stations of the
yeah,
Cross.
yeah, I've seen those
The
where-
images. So it's lined up on the side of the church. That was really unique. I've seen that in some churches, they either have the Stations of the Cross around a pond, on the side of the church, or in the back somewhere. And I've seen that more on the outskirts of Houston. Now, maybe there's some here and I just didn't see them, or maybe I forgot. But I really like that. But anyway, after Mass, I talked to some parishioners, and they were so friendly. I also talked to Father about the radio station.
You
and
really
about,
are a radio
yes,
ambassador.
Yes,
Yeah.
and about my pilgrimage, and I also gave him a packet.
So do
and
you think he's going to join us on the
hopefully-
air?
Hopefully
Maybe
someday soon,
we
yes.
could feature St. Jerome from Clute as
That's
our
right.
parish of the week.
That's right. We
I
sure
would
can.
love that.
I would
yeah.
love to do that. Absolutely. And anyway, so he told me he's been there for a year, and prior to being there, he was in Galveston over the Holy Parish there, which is over
Holy Family?
Holy Family,
Ah,
which is
good.
over the other 5 or 6 parishes there. Anyway, to learn more about St. Jerome in Clute, go to stjeromeclute.org. And I just want to mention something else that I mentioned to you earlier, that he was responsible for the translation of the Bible into Latin.
Father Jorge?
No,
Did you?
St. Jerome.
Oh, St. Jerome. Of course. Yes. Yes. The church father.
Well, you know what? I should have explained
the
myself.
4th century.
Back in
Okay.
this day. Yes. Can you believe that, Tim? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Saint Jerome, one of the biggest
yes.
saints that we have.
Yes, I didn't know
You know, he
that.
was a pretty cranky guy. Lots of great stories about
Lots
him.
of great
He
stories.
and Saint Augustine, they exchanged letters and
Oh,
everything. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Crazy.
that-
You should
see,
read
you learn something every day.
And
There
he
you-
translated the Bible into Latin.
There you
That's,
go, as we
that's
read it
great.
today. That's
very
right.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for sharing
It
that,
was a
Carol.
great
You're
trip.
getting
Yes.
close to your end of your
Yes, yes,
pilgrimage
we're
there.
getting
but
there, Tim.
We still got
Thanks.
a few more weeks. few more weeks. And it's time now for our Loving Choice Minute, where we catch up on what's happening at Loving Choice, the only Catholic pregnancy help center in the Houston area. Hopefully we'll change that by expanding to more locations. But right now we're talking with Diana Scobie, who is one of their shift leads there, who manages their volunteers. Diana, welcome to the Catholic Lunch Break.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, glad to have you here. What's happening new at Loving Choice there in Spring?
Well, there's always something. We're always, expanding, finding more rooms to be able to help with people. We a little bit slow last week with, I guess, a lot of people on vacation.
That's the summer,
but
yeah.
we're growing and expanding our class times so that we have more availability for the moms and dads to come in for classes. So,
Wonderful. Well, tell me a little bit about what it is you do there. You're a shift lead, so what does that involve? Like, what does a typical shift look like for you?
Well, I'm there in the afternoons on Thursday, and I have at least 2 advocates who work with me, and they work with the ladies who come in, and I'm usually there to answer their questions, make sure that all the paperwork is taken care of. If we're shorthanded, I may go in as an advocate myself. So it's just a bunch of different things.
So what's the
being
difference
there to-
between like the shift lead and the advocate? What is the difference between
The
those two?
advocate always works with the clients directly. The shift lead makes sure that the information is getting put in the in the system. Any Medicaid forms that might need to be done are taken care of by the shift
okay.
leads. If there's an issue, we're like a sounding board, and then we know the next steps. But we also can be advocates and be in there ourselves. So.
That's cool. So what's your favorite part about volunteering with the Catholic Pregnancy Help Center, like Loving Choice? Like, what is the thing that keeps bringing you back?
It's the fact that I feel like it's an oasis for people in a really scary situation. We're there to give them a chance to breathe and know that they have help. My prayer always is when we're there, give them a chance to breathe, heart of Christ, and show these ladies love and know that they're not alone.
It sounds like it's a very spiritual experience for you as well. It maybe increases your prayer.
Oh.
That's awesome. Does it make a difference that it's a Catholic pregnancy help center? There's lots of great pregnancy help centers all across Houston, but they're pretty ecumenical and pretty non-denominational. But this one, Loving Choice, is designed to be Catholic. Not just serving Catholics, but to be 100% in accordance with the teachings of the Catholic Church. Does that make a difference to you as a volunteer?
Yes. I know that I can be free about all the truths that our faith has to share. and not feel inhibited in any way. And no, I know the ladies are not all Catholic, but I know that I'm supported in sharing our beliefs and helping them know that it's okay and that they're loved, and that Catholics aren't just about preventing abortion and not caring about the women. It's a problem people think is that we're just there to stop abortions, but this is proof that we're there to love these ladies. And
Yeah.
I love that aspect.
To go
of it.
even further than just stopping the abortions. How far do people travel to get to Loving Choice in Spring?
We get them pretty far. We've got people from, we're up in the north in Spring, and we get people from Katy. We've had people come down from Huntsville. So yeah, people travel pretty far to come to us.
That's really cool. What's the biggest need from your perspective right now that Loving Choice has? What could you use the most help with? We've got listeners like all over the place. We've already talked about Galveston and Clute and all kinds of places where probably wouldn't be able to make it up to Spring, but we also have listeners right there in Spring right now. So what is the need that you guys have?
We need, to me, I see there's two needs. We definitely need volunteers who want to be that oasis, who want to be the hands and feet of Christ. Of course, those are going to be the people who are closer, but we have people come down from Huntsville to volunteer. We also need items, baby items. We have a boutique that we have available for the moms and dads to take classes, and they earn points, and they can shop in the boutique with their points. So there's an Amazon wish list that people could look at to provide items for us to have.
Neat. And you can get to that Amazon list on the website?
I believe so. I was going to check beforehand, but I didn't.
Well, that's
so
okay.
sorry.
We can have our listeners go check for us. So listeners, go to loving-choice.org and check and see if that link is available for the Amazon wish list. If it's not, give them a phone call and say, hey, we need this link on the website. But loving-choice.org. Diana, is there anything that's on your heart that you would like to share with the Catholics of Houston?
Just to pray for these ladies, because they need prayer. They're scared, a lot of them, and they just need to know that it's okay. So just keep praying for them.
Absolutely. And we're all praying right now, and we're all of our listeners are prayer warriors who pray together as a GRN family. Well, Diana, thank you so much for joining us here on the Catholic Lunch Break to update us on what's going on with Loving Choice. And we will talk to you again in the future, I'm sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, God bless. Loving-choice.org. That is the website, and Loving Choice Catholic Pregnancy Help Center helps to underwrite this program that you're listening to right now. And so we very much appreciate them for that. Go check out their website, loving-choice.org. We're going to take a quick break now, and coming up this Thursday is the not only our prayer breakfast. You thought I was going to say prayer breakfast, but actually the Concert for Life with Father David Michael Moses. So we're going to talk to him after this break, and we're going to get the inside scoop, like as he's prepping for this huge concert, the 10th annual Concert for Life. So stay tuned to the Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430 KSHJ. Southeast Houston Cardiology is a proud sponsor of this Guadalupe Radio Network station and The Doctor Is In with Dr. Ray Garendi. Southeast Houston Cardiology has been serving patients with heart disease and vascular disease with up-to-date, compassionate, and comprehensive care for more than 20 years. Southeast Houston Cardiology has 2 locations, Webster and Pasadena. You can contact them online at southeasthoustoncardiology.com or 281-338-4004.
The Emmanuel Players Drama Ministry presents St. Mary Magdalene.
On July 21st at 6 p.m. at St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church in Humble, Texas.
Located in the Family Life Center, there will be no charge for the performance. However, donations will be accepted.
Mary Magdalene is the patron saint of St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church, and her feast day is July 22nd.
Father Augustine, one of our parish priests, will give a blessing.
There may be a brief performance from our church band, and Ginger Harrington will be given a 10-minute presentation about Mary Magdalene.
So, come see our dramatic presentation titled St. Mary Magdalene, July 21st, 6 p.m. at St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church, Humble, Texas.
For more information, go to st-mm.com. Again, for more information, go to st-mm.com. See you there!
Listen to The Spirit World with Debbie Georgiani and Adam Bly.
Demonic activity appears to be on the rise. I'm Debbie Georgiani, and I invite you to join Adam Bly and me this weekend for The Spirit World.
On The Spirit World, we offer a Catholic perspective on angels, demons, and how the spiritual and physical worlds interact.
Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern on the Guadalupe Radio Network and other EWTN radio affiliates. Visit grnonline.com/spiritworld.
You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break, and we catch up on everything Catholic in Houston every Monday at noon. Whether you're listening here on the podcast, watching the video on Facebook or YouTube, or if you are listening live on the radio this minute at 12:20 on Monday, July 17th. Coming up this Thursday, as I mentioned right before the break, is our prayer breakfast in the morning. It's going to be at Holy Name Retreat Center. It's going to be at 7 a.m., and so I encourage you to be there. We've got 4 table sponsors already. Plus, we've got a whole bunch of individuals signed up. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Brian Bodan from Ablaze Ministries is going to be our speaker. Father Nicholas Devine, the author of Right Angles and also ministry director at Loving Choice, he's going to lead us in prayer. And, he's the one with the deep, booming voice. Yeah, Father Nicholas Devine. Great guy. Great guy. So it's only $10 for the breakfast. You can, if you want to be one of those table sponsors for your business, get a little extra recognition there. You can do that for $250 at our website, grnonline.com, grnonline.com. And not only is our prayer breakfast happening on Thursday, but also on Thursday, the Concert for Life. So I did an interview with Father David Michael Moses, and let's go to that interview right now. Joining us on the Catholic Lunch Break is everyone's favorite priest, musician extraordinaire, Father David Michael Moses. Father David Michael Moses, welcome to the Catholic Lunch Break.
Thank you so much for having me back. Always enjoy being with you, and happy to be back again.
Oh, yeah. And the Concert for Life, the big Concert for Life coming up this Thursday. We're going to talk all about that. But just to introduce you for those few people who may not know who you are, you're currently parochial vicar at Christ the Good Shepherd?
That's right. Up in Spring, Father James Burkhart. Really wonderful community out here.
Yeah, that is a good community. I've got to talk to Father James a couple times, and we have a lot of radio listeners at Christ the Good Shepherd.
Many.
So, but a backgrounder on you, you are not only a priest, you are also a musician and a YouTube star and everything. So how did you get into music, and why did you choose to become a priest?
Yeah, so my family's not particularly musical, so it's kind of funny that I'm so into music. But when I was about 5 or 6 years old, my mom had me start taking piano lessons, and that kind of started my love of music. Picked up the guitar after that, and always really enjoyed writing songs. Like creating something for me was a lot more exciting than just maybe playing something that somebody else had written. Music is something that's good in itself. We don't usually listen to music because it makes us healthier. We listen to it because it makes us more money or it makes us more friends. We listen to music because it's just a fun thing to do in itself. So I think there's a divine quality to it that points us to things that are good in themselves, like God, like heaven, So I definitely had that inclination from a young age. And as a young man growing up, I loved altar serving. Just being close to Jesus in the Eucharist, for me, was the most important thing I did each week. So I finally went on a silent retreat when I was 16 and just really felt the Lord saying, it might be you. It might be you. I'm calling to the priesthood. And so applied to the seminary from that point. And when you enter, you're not really sure what you're getting into.
Right.
And each of the first 4 or 5 years, I was kind of 50-50 on coming back. And then finally, I spent a year in a parish when I was about 23 and just loved it. There were so many moments when I thought this would really be worth giving my life to be able to act in the person of Jesus Christ, to literally give people Jesus and literally forgive their sins in confession. Like, what else is there? I went from saying, I sure hope I don't have to be a priest and be celibate and be obedient, all these things, to saying, gosh, I sure hope he chooses me. And
Wow.
I'm still so thankful for you.